The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf.
We're not building just event software. We're really building a revenue engine for the entire events industry. So, events are $1 trillion plus industry, but monetization hasn't really evolved in decades. And that's the gap that we're solving with Crafty.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Evan Gappelberg. He is the CEO of Nextech3D.ai. And Evan, it's good to see you again. How are you today?
I'm good. Great to be back, Steve.
Yeah, really interesting news release out from the company. We've talked obviously about Krafty Labs and the success you've seen since you acquired that company, and now you're launching an AI event marketplace with them. So take us through this, Evan. What will this do?
Yeah. So what investors need to understand in this is that we're not building just event software. We're really building a revenue engine for the entire events industry. So, events are $1 trillion plus industry, but monetization hasn't really evolved in decades, and that's the gap that we're solving with Crafty. So, as everyone should know, Crafty is a marketplace. It sits on top of our event platform. And now we're taking it and turning it into a transaction-driven business. Think of Shopify for events, Steve, or something along those lines where people can order, if you're an exhibitor, you can order experiences, just like it's team building, except now it's lead generation for the event exhibitors and even for sponsors. There could be a sponsor booth that has a trivia game being played, and all of this ultimately comes back to data, and all of this ultimately comes back to ROI for the exhibitors and the trade show organizers. So we see this as a very big deal where there's a new revenue stream per event. It could exceed what we're actually generating off of the event software. And ultimately, it gives sponsors and exhibitors a way to attract attendees and ultimately have a high and measurable ROI at the show, Steve.
Now, right now, in a lot of events that I've been at, and I know others have been at as well, you sort of get a piece of paper that says shows where everything is, and sometimes there's an app involved. But what you're suggesting is you can say by going to this specific booth, they're offering this, or they can be doing this, or there's a game to get to this, and that can lead customers down the road into more activation. And in the end, that's what exhibitors want is the activation of the customer there.
Exactly. Think of it like this. So you're walking down the aisle at the trade show and you see a line of people and they're essentially in line to get let's say a chocolate tasting or a coffee tasting or charcuterie board tasting or a cheese tasting or a beer tasting, right? So there's a host there, there's an experience happening, and that's part of your show experience. And so ultimately, when you go to the exhibitor to get this tasting, they're going to ask you to open up the show app, which Nextech provides, answer a few questions. These are essentially qualifying questions. And what this does is it gates the experience and ultimately creates a qualified lead where the person then is engaged in that experience. It's a memorable experience. So it creates a lot of value for the exhibitor. So ultimately, if you think about every single trade show that has exhibitors, if the exhibitor has a good show, they come back, and the value of that show ultimately goes up. So for us, this isn't just about our trade shows, it's really for the entire industry. And we think that we can do just a massive amount of business because we already have the platform, we already have uh, the whole infrastructure built, and now we're just monetizing it in a much bigger way. So I actually feel really really excited about this. We've spoken to a lot of industry executives, and they think this is a good idea, and actually they think this is the biggest problem in the industry, creating ROI, A, for sponsors and B, for exhibitors. And that's exactly what this Crafty marketplace does.
And one last quick question, Evan, and that is, and it's not a lot of capital to put this all together, right? Because as you said, it's keeping adding on to the existing technology that you have, and that's what makes this so easy, right?
Yeah, we're just connecting all of our platforms, all of our tech, and ultimately coming up with new ways to monetize them across the different industries that we serve. We really believe strongly that the future of event tech isn't about managing events. That's the old guard. It's about monetizing them. And with Crafty, we're building the infrastructure to power that future. And again, it's not just our future, it's the future of the industry, Steve.
All right, Evan, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much. Really good update. Really appreciate your time as well.
Thank you.
Evan Gappelberg, the CEO of Nextech3D.ai.
The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf. It is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, an offer, or a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. Viewers should conduct their own research and consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. The views expressed are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Proactive Group Holdings, trading as Proactive Investors, or its affiliates. No responsibility is accepted for any loss arising from reliance on the information presented.